Welcome, guys, to our podcast where we're talking about raising capital and investing with purpose. So, whether you are a new investor or an experienced investor or having a business, understanding the art of raising private capital is crucial in today's competitive landscape. Join us as we navigate the complex realm of attracting investors, securing funding, and building meaningful relationships that fuel your business growth. All right. So today, this episode, well, let me introduce myself. My name is Kalisha Carter, and I have my co-host Betsy Rodas. What's up, girl?
Hey, hi everyone. Welcome to our channel where we talk all about raising capital for your
So
new.
today we are actually gonna talk about how we handle unsuccessful raises. And when we say that, meaning as much as we're in the field of raising private capital, not every project we raise capital for. Sometimes we really don't. And a lot of persons always talks about the win and how it feels to raise 100,000 or 50,000 for a deal, but persons don't talk about like what happens when you don't find funding. How do you deal with that? So that's what we are going to talk about, huh?
And it happens.
It really does happen. I think for me personally, for a while, when I got into raising capital, um, I think I've never had an unsuccessful raise until we started partnering. And I don't say that in a bad way. Here's why. I think when it's your deal, there's something else that's different. When it's like
Mhm.
your name on the paper, you're like, okay, I already put up EMD. I can't lose this deal. Da-da-da. And then you find out you push yourself like way so much.
Yeah. And that's a conversation we were having yesterday that we were like needed to mind shift ourselves before talking to Keston. That we need to push ourselves like if they were our deals because we are essentially partnering up with them to raise the capital.
And at the same time, too, it's like you put that much effort. If you don't put that much effort into raising capital for another person, it's like all the time and effort you already put in with building the pitch deck, sending out emails, like you're invested in it. So it's like if we don't do anything and put that much effort in it, then we don't get paid. We don't get to build our portfolio. There's so many things. So again, that's mindset again that we have to adjust that. A lot of the deals that we're doing, but man, I can't talk for Betsy. I'll allow her to talk for herself. But for me, at the beginning, and still adjusting, getting better. When there is an unsuccessful raise, like let's say we have a target and we gotta raise the funds by let's say June 1, and it's like May 27, May 28, and there is nothing, or there are persons will be like, I'll get back to you, and you're like, shit, I'm running out of time.
Yeah. I don't have
And
my funds yet.
yeah, it sucks because you're like, okay, what else can I do? Who else can I reach out to? And you're literally stuck. And then a lot of times that investor, they already found another person, or it always works out that that investor, that deal fell through because either something with the seller. And then sometimes we just have to tell them, okay, we don't have the funds, and here's why. Here's the feedback. And I think when personally I'm like an overachiever and I put a lot of pressure on myself. So when I don't meet that target, I feel like shit. And I kind of like my energy just and it's like a cycle. Like I go into that cycle and then for a couple hours, and I have to like during that time I have to think. And I really assess to be like, okay, did I put enough effort into marketing this deal? Like I start playing back in my head everyone that I spoke to, how I pitched. Is there a way that I could have approached that conversation different? What did I leave out? What were PML's feedback? Was there like they don't like the terms? Was it that their funds weren't available, but they loved the deal? So it's like assessing all of that. And then sometimes I'm like, okay, just look back, look at all these things. And the next time, just make sure that you work at the things.
Yeah.
So it's kind of,
Yeah, for me, I feel like the pressure, like, how do I go outside and raise capital without looking like a crazy person? Like, I need this. Like, oh my gosh, like coming at it like from a different perspective. Like, hey, I pitched it like this last time and I got this feedback. So this time I'm going to change this and I'm going to word it differently. Try not to feel rushed. Like, oh, this closing is this weekend. I need to get it right now because we're also from a place of value. And I think that still providing that value without sounding like I need to get this done by this time is really, really vital.
And I find too a lot what has to do with, like, if you don't believe in the deal, then, and I think this might goes for everyone. If you don't believe in the deal, then you won't put that much effort into raising it. You will drag your feet. You're like, whatever. Especially if like closing is 5 to 7 days. Like if someone come to us and they're like, okay, I need this money in 5 to 7 days. And if they give us the terms and we're like, okay, this is a damn good deal. These terms are good. We have people in mind. We have that confidence. But if there's like, you don't understand the deal, if the numbers seem tight, you're gonna be like, but I still want to do it. You're like,
Or the numbers are like not all presented.
Yeah. That's always like a little bit tricky. But again, it goes back to your mindset.
Yeah.
Switching that you're thinking. And we're growing as individuals, growing as capital raisers, because after every raise, there's a win, yes, but there are also losses. But we just have to take the time from those losses and really reevaluate. As I said, like think about all the conversations that you've had. And when you start going back over in your head, I'm able to pick up where I messed up. Whether that person was experienced, whether it is that person was new. Sometimes I find giving persons, oh my God, this rain, it's ridiculous. But giving lenders a timeline. So as much as you would say, okay, if your closing is June 1, yes, you would tell the lender, hey, closing is June 1. But if you have that conversation with the lender, I need always close them. I'll follow up with you in 2 days. So if it's Wednesday, I'll be like, all right, I'll give you a day, but I'll reach out to you by Friday morning, let's say before 12, because I have other lenders. I'm giving them a timeline so we can make a decision. So pinning that time, and I learned that from a book, but I don't always implement it because I always forget. Like literally always forget, but it's really
yeah. And I mean, I commend you because like I've told you this. I feel like in the months that we've started this and like continued, you've grown so much. Like you 10x yourself by like 3x. So when I'm talking to private money lenders and I forget to tell them, hey, like I won't follow back up with you, or I need to do this, you'll be like, okay, and you'll ask me like, oh, did you get this? And I'm like, oh crap, I forgot. So then I'll go back with them and I'll just continue that conversation. Which now that I'm getting used to it, I'm like, okay, I'm not forgetting the first time.
Because and for those who don't know, like how Betsy and I restructure it, before we would both do everything, and we would both like try to reach out. We still do, but as it relates to like finding leads and qualifying those leads, that's always Betsy. And then if
a few moments later.
oh my God, that is insane.
I was like, wait, no, the storm.
The lightning just, and I think it knocked. So I'm using my hotspot. It knocked everything. It literally knocked everything out.
I was like, it's fine. It's a recording. I was gonna say something, and I was like, wait, this is a recording. We're fine.
No, I think you should keep it in. All right. So for those who don't know, when Betty will qualify the leads, and as she said, it's really like a learning process, getting better every day, because then if when she's able to qualify that lead to see how soon is that person really ready to lend, what's their source of funds, all that stuff. Yep, and now the lights went out. This is insane.
Are you okay?
Yeah. We should not take this out. We should include all of it. But yeah, that's literally what up, guys.
In the middle of a storm. Let's just keep going.
And when she qualifies, it's easier for, at least when she passed that leads on to me, it is easier to close that person, because then I'm not trying to convince them again. And I have an idea of like what stage are they are at in their investing career, or looking to lend, what's their source of funds, how soon they're ready. That way I can now, she's setting me up for success, because then I know how to handle or approach that conversation. So yeah, that's literally like, we look back, and really it's, the more we do it, and the more you get better. And it won't be perfect all the time. So that's why it's super important to reassess for the projects that you haven't found funding for. If it's a project where, let's say, there's no like closing date or anything like that, we've had projects that took us months.
Oh my gosh. I think we're still on one.
Yeah. And then we've had projects like that where it will take us months, and we get funding when we least expect it. And that's because we still kept marketing. We adjust the pitch deck as we go along based on feedback. We adjust the terms. We still kept it on our website. We still include it in our newsletters. We just still market that deal, because we're always building our list, and then there's someone new that comes in who will see that deal. So sometimes it's really not unsuccessful. Just find the win. In those times, but
it's not a fail. It's a learning opportunity.
No, it is. So that, guys, is how we handle unsuccessful raises. So if you guys have any questions or any suggestions on what you would like us to talk about, drop them in the comments. I feel like we haven't said that in a while. Like, subscribe, and notifications.
Like, subscribe, ring the bell.
Oh my
Write
God.
comments. Oh my gosh, we try to answer the comments real quick. Sometimes it doesn't happen because we're time blocking, but it's really awesome hearing your all's feedback. I have not heard one negative thing. Everything's been super positive, which I love. But yeah, just answering you guys, seeing what your thoughts are, kind of what we're doing, what we're seeing. We would love to hear more. Like I want to hear about this. Like, we're really out here for you guys. We decided to do this because no one else was being so open and talking about it, just like we are. So we really want to make sure we continue doing that.
Yeah. So definitely let us know. Subscribe if you guys haven't, and until next time, we'll see you guys.